On this episode of Pimp My Ride, our van is torn apart. So I've got the head unit out, and there's actually multiple parts to this, it's pretty cool. And then I've got all these wires stripped back. So we've got 4 new pairs of wire, and I've spliced in the 2 pairs. I've reused some of the connectors from the doors that we're no longer using. The speakers that came out of the doors had these fancy connectors. Turns out they were the same ones we needed for the back of the head unit. And I'm optimistic that it's also the wiring for the rear channels on the van. Ours do not come with factory rear channels, and we're trying to get some added. So these 4 pairs of wires, 2 of them are brand new with the new connectors, and 2 of them I'll end up cutting the factory wiring. So these white with pink and white with black, as well as gray with yellow and gray with black. And I'm running them all down here under the floor into the passenger seat. There's an amp in here. Got an Alpine amp with 4 channels in and 4 channels out. So it should amplify the sound, make it sound nice and full. And then I'm rerunning wires for the front channels. So one is going to the right door and right tweeter. There's a crossover right here that'll split the highs to go to the tweeter and the lows for the sub and the door. And then the same thing on the driver's side. There's also 2 more channels going up this E-pillar all the way back to the back of the van. Right now it's in the same wiring harness, same channel that the factory wiring harness is going. And then we've got it run to the back of the van and split for each of the doors. So they'll jump into where Aiste's panels are going. So Aiste's custom panels, she's got these fancy speaker holes, as well as some lights that will go in there. So yeah, today we'll be finishing up everything. I'll finish cutting it into this factory wire, getting that run down, and I'm also adding the power. There's a nice bus bar under the driver's seat here that I'm hoping to tap into. I guess it's for accessories. And then, don't worry, got my 60 amp fuse. Nice and steady. Alright, I just ran this red wire, hot, positive coming off this bus bar under the driver's seat. That's coming under this channel. So there's, you can see the wire. It's the only one without a bolt on top. And yeah, so it's running down. I know the fuse should be a little bit closer to the power source, but I don't want to have to take out the chair to change the fuse if it needs to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it inside here on the inner side. I'll route this into here, and then I'll route the rest into our amp. And then I can always take off this cover off the side of the passenger seat, and I can reach in, swap anything out that I need, as well as disconnect it and access the amp. So pretty straightforward. Just go slow. So we've mounted the fuse, so it's coming again off the bus bar over there into the amp, but here's our 60 amp fuse. I've got the wire over here. None of it's live, I've disconnected the battery, but it'll go into the terminal here. I've got a ground as well that I'm going to run. But first what I'm going to do is I need to start cutting all of this extra loose speaker wire in here, but before I do that I want to make sure that I've got all of this soldered. So I'm going to cut the factory wiring harness here. So these 4 pins at the bottom, 2 pairs, are the front speakers, I hope. And I'm going to cut a couple inches back into the wire here and solder the new speaker wire. So this is the red and black. I've marked it with red and black tape on this side as well, so that I know these are the fronts. Cool.
Good luck.
Thanks. So here goes nothing. We're going to cut these here. Here. Ah! Wrong wire. Gives us some room, some wiggle room to go in there and cut some things together, you know. Yeah, I just gotta make sure I get the right and left correct here. Otherwise, oh yeah, I really recommend one of these. I used to spend a lot of time trying to strip wires with handheld, you know, almost like plier strippers. I can't even find them because I never use them anymore. This thing is fantastic. I think this is 8 through 12 gauge. There's a little wire cutter here as well, super handy. And that's safety, so you don't hurt yourself. I always want to make sure that any weapons have a safety.
So what color are the wires?
Oh. So these are the white with pink and white with black, and the gray with yellow and gray with black. I believe that the black stripes on these indicate that it's the ground. I'm optimistic that that's going to be the way it is. And so what I've been doing is I've been using this kind of copper colored speaker wire as the hot, and this silver, more gray, would be the ground. So I just need to make sure that I get that, you know, consistent throughout the whole project. And then when I get down here at the bottom, I just need to make sure that the speaker wire inputs are mapped up to the plus and minus correctly. So again, these also have a black stripe on the ground. So it's nice and consistent that we have the black stripe here matching the black stripe on the speaker wire harness. That's good. How'd I did?
You did good. You done good.
Cool. I just remembered that I do know which wires go where. So, from looking under the dash, I know that these gray with black and gray with yellow wires go to the tweeter and right door panel, but the white with yellow and white with black go to the left side of the van. So this one would be on my left channel, or left speakers, and these are my right channel and right speakers. I just need to make sure that when I get it down into the amp, channels 1 and 2, that I have channel 1, the left channel, wired up to this pink, the white with pink and white with black, and the second channel, these gray pairs actually, wired up to the gray. So it does match actually. So the base color, white goes to white up here, and gray goes to gray up here. And then I'll match something similar. So in here, the factory harness, the pink wires come down to this bottom two. The gray wires are the next two. So if this is left and this is right, I would assume that this is rear left and that's rear right. I'll just match those up when I get down here. So this third will go to the green, which is the third channel left, and this fourth one will go to this fourth channel, purple. You know, just basic trigonometry that you learn in kindergarten or something, I don't know. Alright, we've got the new speaker wire run for this side door, passenger side door, so this is a new speaker wire. We've run it through this little crevasse, crack, hole, thingamajig, where the factory speaker wire was, which we've also pulled out entirely. Speaker wire goes through here, through this channel, into this pocket, and it comes out at the top right there, where the previous factory speaker wire was. Then I'm also going to be reusing this connector here, where the factory speaker wire was. There were 4 pins in here, but now there's only 2, and I've taken it out on the other side. And this is because these appear to be the same female pins that we need for the head unit, which we were missing. So the head unit comes with these 4 female pins that match the same colors as our door speakers. These 2 gray with yellow and gray with black wires will run all the way in the back, up a channel through here, and then came out this door, and this was where they were attached. These were the female pins I ran this connector here from the factory head unit. The male pin switched over to these purple and gray wires in this connector and ran through to the passenger side door. I don't think we're going to reuse these. We're definitely going to reuse these in the factory head unit wiring harness right here. Drop them in. I suspect that these upper three are rears and then perhaps center or sub. Yeah. All right, we're looking at the driver's side, and I just cut off the speaker wire for the factory speaker. So this is the factory adapter, and it's plumbed through here, through this, gasket into the back here, where it splits for the tweeter and runs all the way up to the factory wiring harness. So I believe this bottom one here, which is white with black and pink stripe. So run all the way back there, and you'll notice that this is green and gray with white. What actually happens is, back in here, pop this connector off. So we've got the gray and green. It maps to the white with pink and white with black. The nice thing is, we've got more of those connectors, so we'll reuse those. So we've got 2 more pairs on each side, and we'll be able to use those for running to the back of the van. We just finished up with wiring the new speakers. We've added 2 in the rear and replaced the fronts, as well as added an amplifier. So we've got a nice Alpine amp under here. It's mounted and looks beautiful. And we've got 4 pairs of wire coming from the back of the head unit. There were previously 2 pairs, one for the left and one for the right up front. I've added 2 more. Luckily we were able to verify yesterday that the additional pins that were there are still active, they're just unused. We were able to take advantage of those pins being there to wire up some of the rear speakers. At the back of the head unit, we've got 4 speaker level outputs, 2 up front and 2 in the rear, and we're running them down back here. You can see a pair or 4 pairs of wire zip tied together here. These 4 are the speaker output from the head unit and input to the amplifier. And then from there we have 2 more that run back up here for the front, left and right, and 2 more that run up the side and down next to the factory harness for the rear doors. Then we've also got power coming from a bus bar under the driver's seat through this channel and powering the amplifier. This amplifier, this Alpine amplifier, has an automatic power on sensor. When it detects that the speaker level input is powered up, it will power itself up internally and start powering the 4 speaker outputs. Now time to put the van back together. Let's hope I remember where everything goes.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Alright, it's looking good. Tyler is putting in the finishing touches. Oh, it looks so nice. Finally coming back together. Here's a mock-up.
Oh yeah, this is a mock-up. What up, little Tylers? This is Big Tyler, and I'm about to get blown away. Recording this. Family show. No swearing. The bleep you just heard was not swearing. Please. Oh wait.